Good morning. It is November 16th, and we have a great word this morning. I did not come on last week because I needed to regroup. And I'm going to tell you, the enemy didn't want me to get this word out today, right before 9:30. And the enemy's a loser. That little punk is under my foot. I don't care what situation is going on in my life. I don't care what hardship is going on. God, Yahuwah's word will go forth. I'm sorry. God, Yahuwah. In Babylon, we call him God. This word will go forth. So here we are this morning. We had a great time of worship. I'm not ready to film worship right this minute because we don't have professional cameras. I'm doing all this on my phone. It is completely unprofessional as far as what content creators call unprofessional. You're going to get the real deal. And that's okay. Because if you were here, you would get the real deal. So this morning, listen, even you, Yahusha, what's your name? Balan? Oh, that's so pretty and elegant. Oh, I like that. Okay.
Call a bird for short.
Huh?
Bird for short.
I like Balan. I don't call nicknames.
I know, right?
What? That's a nice name. Okay, today we are talking about American Idols. Not American Idol, American Idols, more than one. And I'm going to tell you, it's been a few weeks, and Yahuwah's Spirit told me to look up idols. And I'm like, look up idols? And this is why it took me so long to get here, because it's so heavy duty. When I looked up idols, I was instantly convicted, and I said, uh-oh. Literally, I said, uh-oh. Like, when I go through this and tell you what an idol is and what it means in the Bible, you're going to start looking at everything around you as an idol. I mean, everything. The decorations on your walls, the stuff in your garden. Christmas, Starbucks is an idol. You do that every day?
No, this is McDonald's.
Oh yeah, because it's not Starbucks. Yeah, but yeah. But these pagan holidays, idols, Christmas. We already know about Halloween, but most people are like, oh, but Christmas is the Christian holiday. But when you understand what an idol is, and you're driving around neighborhoods and you see people have demons and turkeys and Santa Clauses all together in the yard, you're like, what kind of weirdness? Like, literally, I've seen this. And people have set up their trees and their lights, and I'm like, this is an idol. This is an idol. And the only reason for the pagan holidays is for money and to buy more idols. It is pagan, and people say that, but it's a Christian holiday. Guess what I meditated on yesterday? And this is going to be a whole nother, maybe I talked about this already, but this will be a whole nother subject later. I almost thought about doing it today, but Yahuwah said, no, you got to stay focused. You're just trying to get everything done at once. You can't do that. Take your time. And yesterday, oh, shoots, I lost my train of thought. Yesterday, I was thinking about Christmas. Oh, yeah, it was either yesterday or early this morning. So Nimrod, who was the one who created the Tower of Babel, he was trying to get to heaven to kill Yahuwah. That was his whole intent. And that's when Yahuwah said, oh, I got to babble their language. That's why we all speak different languages now, because of Nimrod. Well, Nimrod, the people worshipped him as a god, an Elohim. His birthday is December 25th. That's who we're worshiping on Christmas, not what we call God or who we think is God, Elohim, but Nimrod. Mary is Semiramis, his wife. She was a witch. Their son, it's not Talmud, I can't even remember his name. It begins with something with the T. Talmar, something like that. So the Catholic, no offense to my Catholic family see this, or anybody who's Catholic, but worshiping those statues is demonic. And the statues that people think they're worshiping, God, Jesus, Mary, is really Nimrod, Semiramis, and the sun. It's pagan deities. So I say all that to say, we think that these holidays are righteous, but they're actually not righteous. And people do say, but I'm not celebrating it for that. But that's the intent of it, and that's the spirit that's out there. So, and then yesterday I was meditating on, I was trying to figure out what the next festival was, the next feast of Yahua. The next one isn't until Passover. And we're going to celebrate Passover. We're going to do Passover. I'm so excited. We're going to do it the best we can do it, but we're celebrating Passover. And that's in the spring. So when you look at these holidays, October, November, December, those are all in the fall, winter months. Those are when the sun is going down. God is like, this is when things die. This is when things are buried because we're waiting for the spring. And I went, what? Yahusha was born, they say, in the spring. We don't worship that. That's not what he told us to worship. He told us to worship the festivals. Passover, scholars say that he's going to come back during Passover. That's in the spring. That's not in these months that people say, oh, he's going to come back. I don't know if I've never heard anybody say he's coming back at Christmas, but he's coming back in Christmas. But when you think about this stuff, we idolize everything. Oh my gosh. And my friend that's here, she has coffee. She doesn't idolize the coffee. She just drinks coffee. I drink coffee every day, you guys. I do not idolize coffee. It's not my God. And if I got to give it up, I'm going to give it up. But people do idolize certain coffees. And I did say the name earlier. I should not say the name because, you never know with these things. They might block you for saying the wrong thing. But people idolize. You look at the lines of these places. They idolize certain things. People are idolizing the president. I'm not going to say the president. I'm going to say dents with the S because whoever's in office, that's who they idolize. That's not my king. That's not who I'm worshiping. I don't care what the main people say, but you got to vote. This is what you got to do. No, I don't. Actually, the word says contrary to what the world says. He says he will give us a king. He has already given us the king. His name is Yahusha. That's who I worship. I don't need no earthly king. That's not who's going to lead me. That person's not going to save me. As a matter of fact, I might get in trouble. But these kings of the earth, they might not even be human. They might be Nephilims. They might be demonic Elohims, demonic gods. So I'm absolutely not worshiping no person. Without saying a name, this person who just recently passed away, I'm going to say that in a nice way, people worship him. And fights start over his passing. If you're against him, the ones who are for him fight, vice versa. There's wars breaking out over human idols. So I say American idols, not like the show American Idol, idols, because as Americans, I live in America, we idolize so much. And we're going to start, this is only part one, and it's called The Greatest Deception. And it's the greatest deception because we think, I'm going to say as Americans, we think, because in America, we think we don't worship idols. Because we look at these other countries, they have sun gods and they have Shivas and they have all of these things. And we're like, well, we absolutely know that's a god. But guess what? The American idols, there are so many gods interspersed into everything that we do. It looks like this. We can't discern what's real and what's not real. And that's deception. It's the greatest deception. So we're starting with the basics. This is part one, like I said. What is an idol? Oxford Dictionary says an image or representation of a god or Elohim used as an object of worship. Like cell phones are idols, especially with teenagers. Cell phones, if they don't have a phone, they lose their minds. Young people have killed their family members over not having a cell phone or Wi-Fi. That's how you know it's an idol, because you don't think straight. And so it's used as an object of worship. And they might say, But I don't worship the phone. Yeah, you do. If you're in your phone 24/7, that's worship. Like we should be in the 66 24/7, not a cell phone 24/7. So that's an American Idol. That's just one American Idol. Now, another definition of an idol is a person or thing that is greatly admired, loved, or revered, which our presidents, I'm going to say dents again with an S, whoever the president is, if you're on one side of the bird, and I say bird because it's one wing on one bird, they have two wings. So they always talk about the left wing and the right wing. It's the same bird. You guys are completely deceived if you believe that it's a whole nother bird and that we're talking about the one wing and a whole nother bird over there and a whole nother wing. It's the same bird. Same bird. Two wings, one bird. So these presidents, they worship, they revere, they greatly admire. We have, and I'm treading very carefully on this, I'm going to say presidents again to cover myself. We have presidents that do some vile, wicked, behind the scenes stuff that if we knew the truth of the stuff that we did, some of us would be like, aghast. Some of us would be like, oh, but that's not true. The media is distorting that. No, the media is hiding it. And that's why we don't know everything that's going on. Past presidents got caught doing some very sexualized things. And people are just like, well, it's okay. What? 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 What in the world? That's crazy. Like, but that's how we know it's an idol. So the word revered, I had to look up the word revered because I'm like, I think I know what revered means, but let me just see. So a person or thing that is greatly admired, loved, or revered. Revered means worshipped, cherished, hallowed, and sacred. Our Father, hallowed be thy name. That's the only Elohim we're supposed to hallow or revere. So now we're hallowing and revering other Elohims that did not create the heavens and the earth. And so, who we revere and hallow, I'm not going to say the names, but because, you can get censored for saying certain things, but the famous rapper, the famous music icon that's the queen of whatever, even R&B, not R&B, even gospel idols are revered. And guess what? They're on the same bird, you guys, with the wings are attached to the bird. So we say rap, gospel, Christian. Well, they're separate. They're not the same. They're on the same bird, you guys. It's the exact same thing. This is how I see it. If they're going up there to get some kind of award or an idol, that just shows you. And the award shows these days, even gospel, they are not godly at all. I tell you what, I wouldn't be, but if I were a gospel singer, I would not go get no award from nobody. But because I follow Elohim, I follow Yahua, they wouldn't give me an award because I'm not selling my soul. So I would be the no-name worshiper right here in my house. And I'm not doing content creation because this is not about content creation. This is about getting the real word out because there's so many deceptive pastors that are proclaiming that they follow the way, the truth, and the light, but they're really not. And if you don't follow the word for yourself, you will be deceived. Okay, let's talk about our first story. It's a true story, but we're going to call it a story. We're going to go to Genesis 31, and we're talking about Rachel. And I was up all night, and I kept hearing, go check out Rachel, go check out Rachel. And I'm like, and when I opened up my Bible, literally it turned right to this. And I'm like, oh, so you really wanted me to talk about this. So let me give you the backstory with Rachel. Rachel is the wife of Jacob. Jacob is the last son. I'm sorry. great-grandson of Abraham. So it's Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Those are our forefathers. And Jacob saw Rachel. He fell in love with her because his father said, go to your uncle Laban and pick your wife. And he picked Rachel, and his father-in-law tricked him and gave him Leah, the first daughter, who was cockeyed. So they say in the Bible. And she wasn't pretty. This is not who he picked because she didn't look pretty. Well, the father-in-law tricked him, and it was nighttime. They had their celebration and everything, and she came into the tent. They had sex. He thought he was having sex with Rachel. He woke up, and it was cockeyed Leah, and he was so mad. Cockeyed Leah. So even before this, he worked for 7 years thinking he's working for Rachel, who he loved, but it was Leah. It was Leah that he was working for. So when he woke up, he was mad. Why did you do this to me? And the father said, I'll give you Rachel, but you got to work another 7 years with me. And so he did. But he did get Rachel. He loved Rachel. He didn't love Leah, but he was married to Leah. Rachel didn't have any kids. Leah had all of the kids first. And she had a bunch of kids. She had 10 kids. No, I'm sorry. She didn't have 10 kids because he was married to concubines too. So he had some other, not wives, but he had some other women and they had kids. And I'm straying off the path just for a little bit, but listen to that. These are our 12 patriarchs, and this is Jacob's kids, but some of them were for his first wife, Leah. 2 were for Rachel, and the other ones were to his concubine, but those are our patriarchs. It's like, wait, what? But Yahua does things completely different than how we do things, so we can't question it. But so you guys know, when I'm calling this the 66 now because these are the 66 books of the Bible. But when you read the Apocrypha, they have the behind the scenes stuff that gives you might have questions. I know I have questions when I read the Bible. I'm like, why is this like this? Seems like something is missing. When you read the Apocrypha, you're like, oh, and I'm going to tell you guys some more behind the scenes stuff that they don't teach us in church. So let me read because I'll just keep talking and I don't want to be here for 10 hours. So Genesis, that's the backstory. So he got Rachel, he married Rachel, and so she only had 2 kids, but that's who he loved the most. Genesis 31, we're going to start at 30. Now we're in Genesis, if you're using your Bible app. Genesis 31. So Jacob answered, I was afraid. So he left. So let me give you a little bit more backstory. He left Laban. He snuck out at night. But when you read the Apocrypha, he left because Yahua told him to leave. It does not say that in the 66. It sounds like he just left. But Yahua said, pack up your stuff and get out. And so now Laban's chased him down. Laban's confronting him. And, oh, wait, let me read 30. Yes, 30. Now this is Laban. Now you have gone off because you long for your father's family. Well, duh, he wants to go be with his daddy. He says, but why have you stolen my gods, my Elohims? So he didn't say, I love you. I want you to stay with me. He kind of said that. He said, you want to go by your daddy, but you stole my gods. So that's why I'm here. You stole my gods. Look, if he has to use the bathroom, it's right down that hall. So Jacob answered, I was afraid, for I thought you would take my daughters from me by force. If you find, this is Jacob, if you find your God, now listen to this. This is going to be so important. And I'm going to come back to this again. If you find your gods with anyone here, he will not live. So Laban's saying, you're leaving because you want to go see your daddy, but where are my gods? You stole my gods. Jacob's saying, I was afraid you were going to take my daughters. So, but if you find your Elohims, your idols, they won't live. Listen to that. That's very important. 30 to 35. Before our relatives point out anything that is yours and take it. Jacob did not know that Rachel had stolen the idols. So Laban went into Jacob's tent, Leah's tent, and tents of the 2 concubines. So it was 2 concubines, Bilhah, and I can't remember the other one's name. But he found nothing. When he left Leah's tent, he went into Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken Laban's household idols, put them in the saddlebag of the camel, and sat on them. Laban searched the whole tent but found nothing. She said to her father, "Don't be angry, my lord, that I cannot stand up in your presence. I am having my period." So Laban searched but could not find the household idols. So he never found the idols. So let's go to 35. I'm going to tell you what happened after this. And I got this revelation this morning. When I looked at it, I went, oh, and then there's more revelation. So it is so good to get revelation because it means that the Bible's not old and stale. It's always new. It's alive. That's why it says the word is a living sword. It's not dead. It is alive. And people who say that they don't understand the word, they don't have Yahua inside of them. That's why they don't get it. Okay, 35, 16 through 19. They set out from Bethel. When they were still some distance from Ephrath, Rachel began to give birth, and her labor was difficult. So she had already given birth to Joseph. She only had 2 kids. The famous Joseph with the coat of many colors. That was the first son. So now she's in birth for her second son. During her difficult labor, the midwife said to her, "Don't be afraid, for you have another son." With her last breath, for she was dying, she named him Ben-Ani, but his father called him Benjamin. So Rachel died and was buried on the way to Ephrath, that is Bethlehem. Jacob set up a marker on her grave. It is the marker at Rachel's grave still today. Okay, so Ben-Ani. It's 2 words, Ben and Ani. Ben means son, but it also means afflicted one. Ani means Aven. And listen to this, you guys. It means, you guys probably won't get it, but Jennifer's going to get it. Maybe you'll get it. Avin means false, evil, idol, afflictions. So remember, Rachel is the one that stole the idols from her daddy and hid them. It doesn't say anything else about these idols anywhere in the Bible. We're going to Apocrypha. We're going to Jasher. If you don't have a book of the Apocrypha, you can download it. It's right online. So Jasher, so let me interject this, and I might say this every single Sunday and every time I minister. They say that these are the hidden books. They're hidden because certain people didn't want us to know these words. And then people also say, but it's just history. It's not really the books of the Bible. Well, guess what? I've been doing some research, and because you got to study to show yourselves approved. You have to study for yourself. You can't believe what everybody says. So in the front of this book, and I think I have it highlighted, or it might be the other one. It might not be this one. It's the other one. But it says that these books were taken because the Catholic Church thought that these books weren't what they wanted people to hear. And the reason why they didn't want you to hear these words is because it explains so much about us, and it tells you more details of what was going on. This should be in this. So I have a Sefer. I didn't pull the Sefer out today. The Sefer has the 66 plus the Apocrypha. When you read these books, you can I feel Yahuwah in the words. I don't feel like, and I have read one book and I read it and I said, this is not God. This is evil. So I knew that was not, and it's not part of the Apocrypha. I don't even remember where it came from. I read like the first couple of pages and I was like, nope, this is not good. But this, I know without a shadow of a doubt that this is Yahuwah's word. Even Yahusha, Jesus, mentions Jasher. He mentions Enoch. He mentions in the New Testament, because people say, oh, the Old Testament is null and void. The New Testament mentions stuff from out of here. Yahusha studied these books. So this is how you know that these are books that we should be reading. Jasher is part of the Torah. The Torah is Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. So that's the Torah. These are the books we're supposed to be following. Jasher is telling you everything else that's not in the 66. So this morning I said, let me go see if Rachel's in Jasher. Man, let me tell you, I forgot I was online. I'm just all over the place, you guys. Okay, so we're going to start at Jasher 31. My suggestion, go look for it yourself. Go download Jasher and go read it for yourself. This week, I read, what did I read? Oh, I can't even think of what the name of it was. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I read the Testaments of the 12 Patriarchs. That's all of the sons of Jacob that we just kind of sort of talked about. Let me tell you, when you read all of this, you get an understanding of who each son is, and you get an understanding of what was going on behind the scenes. It doesn't tell you everything in the 66. You're reading the 66 and you're like, it feels like there's a beginning missing and there's an ending missing. You only got that part and you're like, well, okay. And you know, some people don't question things. It took me a long time to question, but I questioned and I was like, some of this stuff, it seems like it's missing stuff to me. So 31, Jasher 31, we're going to read 40 through 50. It's a lot, but listen. Okay, 40. Listen to this. And Rachel stole her father's images. These are the idols. And she took them and she concealed them on the camel on which she sat, and she went on. So it does not say anything about a period. It doesn't say anything that it does in the 66. And this, listen to this, you guys. When I read this, I went, oh, woo, wait, just wait. And this is the manner of the images. This means this is what the images do. This is why she took the images. It does not say why she took the idols in the 66. And taking a man who is the firstborn and slaying him and taking the hair off his head. Listen to this, some demonic stuff. And taking salt and salting the head and anointing it in oil. Then taking a small tablet of copper or a tablet of gold and writing the name on it and placing the tablet under his tongue and taking the head with the tablet under the tongue and putting it in the house and lighting up lights before it and bowing down to it. Okay, so you just took your firstborn, you just cut his head off. He can take him. Take him that way. He don't have to put his shoes on. He's okay. We literally at home. So, they take the firstborn. They slay him. Cut the head off. Listen to this. They take the hair off his head. They scalp him. And then they take salt. And they salt the head. I guess so it won't bleed. Because when you put salt on, it's a preservative. And then you anoint it with oil. What in the heck? Then you take a small tablet of copper or gold and write the name on it. So I'm thinking you're writing the name of the God on it. You open up the dead head's mouth, place the tablet under the tongue. And you take the head with the tablet under the tongue and you put it in your house. And then you light up lights to showcase the dead head, and then you bow down to it. That's the God she stole. How in the world she sat on a head? I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just listening to this like, wait, that's not it. Wait, just listen. I'm about to freak you guys out. Don't pick her up. Don't pick her up. Hello, you can't pick her up. You just got to rub her. I'm sorry, you guys. You guys get the real deal here. We're having Bible study at home. Okay, 42. Listen to this. I'm about to mess your guys' minds up. And at the time when they bowed down to it, it doesn't say to him. It doesn't say to her. It says it. It speaks to them in all matters that they ask of it through the power of the name that is written in it. Okay, ChatGPT. You ask it questions. It tells you the future in all matters of subjects that you want to know. This sounds like ChatGPT in the old days to me, and it's ahead. I am completely like, oh my gosh. And then 42 says, at the time when they bow down to it, oh, I read that. It speaks to them in all matters, that they ask of it through the power of the name that is written in it. We're not even supposed to mention the names of these foreign gods. And some make them in the figures of men. So they make figures of men of gold and silver and go to them in times known to them. And the figures receive the influence of the stars. I read something in, I think it was Enoch. And Yahua put these stars in hell, prison, because they showed who they were before they were supposed to show who they were. And I'm to this day, I go outside at night and I go look up and I'm like, what did those stars do that Yahuwah put them in hell? Stars. Like, we don't think about stars. You go out and look outside and you're like, oh, it's a star. Oh, it's such a pretty star. But they got the influence of the stars, these figures. So obviously these stars are some kind of angel or some kind of Elohim. And these stars are influencing these Elohims, which are gods, and tell them future things. And in this matter were the images which Rachel stole from her father. Sounds like horoscopes, sounds like tarot cards, astrology, the angel cards, the angel numbers, all of that stuff is demonic. And Rachel stole these images, which were her father's, in order that Laban might not know through them where Jacob had gone. So it doesn't say why she stole them in the 66, but she stole them so he wouldn't go call to them and say, where's Jacob? But wait, listen, she didn't do such a good job. And Laban came home and asked concerning Jacob and his household, and he was not to be found. So he came saying, hey, where's Jacob? Jacob's gone. And Laban sought his images to know where Jacob had gone and could not find them. And he went to some other images. So he had a whole bunch of images. She didn't take all the images. She just took some of the images. That makes me think that she took the images because she was fond of these images. Because she didn't take all of the images. She took some of them. And he inquired of them, and they told him that Jacob had fled from him to his fathers and to the land of Canaan. So he still figured out where Jacob was at. And Laban then rose up, and he took his brothers and all his servants, and he went out and pursued Jacob, and he overtook him in Mount Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, what is this you have done to me? And you flee and deceive me, and lead my daughters and their children as captives taken by the sword. And you did not permit me to kiss them and send them away with joy, and you stole my gods and went away. He didn't care about those people. He said, you stole my gods and you left. That's all he cared about was those gods. And Jacob answered Laban, saying, because I was afraid lest you would take your daughters by force from me. And now, with whomsoever you find your gods, he will die. Listen to that. We read that in the 66. He says, whoever took these gods, they will die. And Laban searched for the images, and he examined in all. He's okay. Let him keep his toy. He's okay. Oh, I'm not worried about it. Dogs, kids, everybody sitting on. I'm not worried about it. As you can see, dogs. And Laban searched for the images, the idols, and he examined in all Jacob's tents and furnitures and could not find them. That's it. He doesn't ask Rachel nothing. Rachel didn't say none of that. Nothing that was in the 66. So that makes me think, did they add that in there? Is that really true? I don't know. Okay. Let's go to Jasher 36. I'm about to give you guys the revelation of an idol. 36:10 10 through 11. Super simple. 10. And while they were going on the road, and there was yet a little way to go, little way to come to Ephrath, Rachel bore a son. Remember, we just read that. And she had a hard labor, and she died. This is the part that's going to flip your minds out. I never knew this. I never knew this. And Jacob buried her in the way to Ephrath, which is Bethlehem. And he set a pillar on her grave, which is there to this day. And the days of Rachel were 45 years, and she died. Why do you think that's so important? 45 years. Why do you think that's so important? Why do you think that's so important? In the old days, Yahua said you're going to live to 120. If you die young, you're cursed, something has happened that you died. Come back. Don't let him. Something has happened while you died young. Why did Rachel die young? Because Jacob said, whoever has the idols, they will die. Nowhere from Jasher 31 to 36 does it say that Rachel repented, she gave up the idols, she hid the idols the whole time, which means she kept these idols in Jacob's house. Jacob loved her the most, but she kept it. In the 66 from 31 to 35, it doesn't say that Rachel gave up the idols. She died young. She died at 45 years old when people were living to 120. She died at 45 because she would not let go of those idols. That's why she died. And so the moral of this story is, if you have idols, you will die early. You're not going to live long. And these idols, ChatGPT is an idol, you guys. And ChatGPT, I've used ChatGPT. But I know Yahusha, Jesus says, you better discern the times that are at hand. I know that ChatGPT is probably going to be the Antichrist. Don't let him go that way. Let him come back.
Ruben.
Or put him on a leash and put your foot on him. And so these idols from the old times are the exact same idols that are now. It says, as in the days of Noah, so shall it be when the Son of Man returns. We are not seeing anything new in Ecclesiastes. It says there's nothing new under the sun. What happened before is going to happen again. Nothing is new. But to us, it's new because we're here and, we're alive and we're like, but if you go back and read your Bible, you'll see, wait. I never read this in Jasher. She had a ChatGPT cell phone and was calling out to this demon deadhead, whatever she was called. She died young. So that just tells you, even if the world says, oh, it's okay, that doesn't mean that it's okay. We are in the last days. In the last days, evil is called good and good is called evil. Those who are righteous will be persecuted. Those who are evil will be uplifted. We are in those days right now. We are in the last days right now. So this is the great deception, this American Idol. And I wasn't even going with ChatGPT. That's a funny thing. But these idols, they will lead you to death. Maybe not how Rachel died. She died at 45, but you won't live long. That's what it means. You won't live long. So let's go on. We're going back to the 66. We're going to go to Exodus 34. Now I'm going to tell you guys. You had a question?
I was looking with what the topic said, the death of Rachel, and it don't mention her age in the Bible.
In the 66. Exactly. Never.
I mean, maybe I have.
No, it's not there. It's not there. I looked myself.
But why is it in,
Because it's important.
Know that it's a premature death based on
Worshiping an idol. And that's why it's so important to do research. There's other people that are Bible scholars from the old days. If you read them, they might not be inspired by Yahua, but it's history and it tells you in here, this is why this happened, and the other people have it. In school, they always talked about the Dark Ages. Do you know what the Dark Ages are? Yahuwah's presence wasn't around. And when I read that, I went, wait, because I love the nights and the laying on and I love that period. And I was like, why is it the Dark Ages? And they were Moors. The Moors were black people, you guys. They were the people that were in control then. They were the black people. They were the Moors. Moors is black. And they don't want you to know that Yahuwah's presence was not there during this time. They don't want to tie in the school book history with the Bible. They should all be tied in together because it's all relative. So you have to study to show yourselves approved. You have to, because if not, you're not going to understand what's to come and where you are and why it's going on. So now we're going to look at Moses and the instructions from Yahuwah. So if you read all of Exodus and probably all of Deuteronomy, it is all, and we're going to do Exodus and Deuteronomy. But if you go and look through the Bible and you look at these things, you will see Yahuwah saying, don't follow these idols. Don't follow these idols. Don't follow these idols. So as a parent, and I know some of you guys in here are not parents yet, but one day you might be parents. One parent is in here. There's two of us that are parents. When we tell our kids to do something, we say, hey, you know, if you keep doing this, this is what's going to happen. There'll be consequences. Oh, you keep sneaking out, you're going to lose your phone, your TV, your car, your keys, whatever. You're going to have consequences. And they keep sneaking out. And you take the phone, the keys, the TV, everything, and you're like, you're grounded. In my house, I call it room duty. You got room duty because stay in your room. I don't even want to see you. You can sleep. I don't care. You might want to pray. So Yahuwah is our Abba Father. And he does not give us these instructions without giving us the consequence. He is telling us, I'm telling you to do this, and if you don't, this is what's going to happen. So this is after Israel's been exodus from Pharaoh. They have gone through the Red Sea. This is literally at the beginning. They haven't even traveled for 40 years, probably not even a year yet. It's probably like a couple of weeks or something like that. And so in Exodus 34, we're going to start at 1. We're only going to read 1 through 6, and then we're going to skip down. But Yahuwah has given Moses the 10 commandments. And when he was up there for 30 days and 30 nights, he came down, and these darn hard-headed, stiff-necked people down there worshiping the calf and dancing and having orgies around the calf. And Moses comes down, and he's like, what is wrong with you people? And he crashes the tablets, and he breaks them. He was so furious. You can let her out. She's running from the flies. And he was so upset. He said, I'm up there. Go outside. I am up there with the one who created us. And you're down here worshiping idols. And he's telling me, don't worship the idols. And you guys are down here worshiping the idols. So he was furious. And so 34, Yahuwah made some new 10 commandments. He made some new stones. And he said, come on back up. He said, we're going to do it again. And so 1 through 6, we're going to read it. The Lord, this is the 66, so it's not saying Yahuwah, Yahusha, Elohim. It says, the Lord said to Moses, cut 2 stone tablets like the first ones, and I will write on them the words that were on the first tablets, which you broke. Moses, you broke those words. You didn't have to drop my tablets. You could have put them on the side and then yelled at the people, but you broke them. Be prepared by morning. Come up Mount Sinai in the morning and stand before me on the mountaintop. No one may go up with you. In fact, no one should be seen anywhere on the mountain. Even the flocks and the herds are not to graze in front of that mountain. When I first got saved, I loved Exodus, but I especially loved the part where Moses had encounters with Yahuwah, and he saw the back of him. He saw his robe, and I'm thinking, whoa, that just like, he actually saw Yahuwah. Like, what? But listen to this. Moses cut 2 stone tablets like the first ones. He got up early in the morning and taking the 2 stone tablets in his hand, he climbed Mount Sinai. Just imagine he climbed Mount Sinai. How long must have that taken? Because that's not no he climbed a little hill. He climbed Mount Sinai. That must have took him a month to get up there. That's why those people were worshiping those idols. So they said this. They said, oh, he's not coming back. He's left us. So they're like, we're going to do whatever we want to do because he was gone too long. So just as the Lord had commanded him, he did exactly what he said. The Lord came down in a cloud, stood with him there, and proclaimed his name, the Lord, Yahuwah. I'm going to say Yahuwah. So he came down on a cloud. He stood with him, and he proclaimed his name. He said, my name is Yahuwah. Then in verse 6, it says, Yahuwah passed in front of him and proclaimed. This is Yahuwah saying this. This is not Moses saying this. Yahuwah is a compassionate and gracious Elohim, which means God, slow to anger and abounding in faithful love and truth. That's like, whoa. Maintaining faithful love to 1,000 generations. We are that generation, you guys. Forgiving iniquity, rebellion, and sin. We were all iniquitous. We were all rebellious, and we all sinned. But Yahuwah will not leave the guilty unpunished. Listen to this. Don't think you're going to get away with your sins. Yahuwah sees everything. When I was 5 years old, I used to hide behind the curtains because my mama said, God can see everything you're doing. I was 5. And I said, he can see everything I'm doing. And I remember, and it wasn't curtains, it was drapes, like big, heavy drapes. This was a long time ago. And I would hide behind these big, heavy drapes. And I'm like, he can't see me back here. He can't see me back here. Now I was 5. How old are you? 8. How old is he? 3? Okay. So in between you two, I'm like, God can't see me. I'm hiding behind these drapes. He can see you're not 8 yet. He can see everything. He says right here, but I will not leave the guilty unpunished. So when you praying and crying and wondering, why do they keep doing this to me and they're going to keep getting away with this? He says he's not going to leave them unpunished. He's going to bring the father's iniquity on the children and grandchildren to the 3rd and 4th generation. We are that generation, you guys. We are the 3rd and 4th generation of these stiff-necked, hard people that Yahuwah is talking about in this Bible. We are that people. We are that people. So, was that 6? Okay, now go to 15. We're going to read 15 to 31. This is Yahuwah saying this. No, let me go to 14. No, really, I need to go all the way up. Wait a minute. Why didn't I go all the way up? Oh. This is Exodus. Did I have Exodus here? Let me go up a little bit. Let me go up. Let me go to let's go to verse 11. Observe what I command you today. I'm going to drive out before you the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. So you wonder, what in the heck do all these ites mean? So let me tell you what these ites mean. Some of these ites were relatives of them, but they followed other idols and they tainted themselves by gaining Nephilim blood. So they weren't purebreds. They weren't pure humans. And that's why he said, drive them out and destroy them. Verse 12, be careful not to make a treaty with the inhabitants of the land that you are going to enter. Otherwise, listen, otherwise they will become a snare among you. Guess what? We're still being ensnared by these ites right now because we did not drive them all out. Instead, you must tear down their altars, smash their sacred pillars, and chop down their Asherah poles. Those Christmas trees is an Asherah pole. You know what an Asherah pole is, you guys? It's an obelisk. It's in the shape of a penis, and they worship it.
Spell it.
Asherah or obelisk? Asherah, Asherah. That's in verse 13. Obelisk is Obelisk. Thank you. So let's bring that home. Here in Louisiana, if you go downtown to the Capitol, there's that big thing. That's an obelisk. If you go to Washington, D.C., I used to live in D.C. It has to me, if you drive around at night, it has eyes that look like it goes around. I always said this is creepy. It looks like a snake.
The bean?
What?
The bean.
What?
The bean.
The bean?
Is it in Chicago? The BEAN one, the big old silver bean.
I'm not talking about a bean. I'm talking
I
about.
know, but is that not an obelisk?
No, I don't even know what you're talking about. A bean. So if you go to Washington D.C., I can never remember the name of it, but it's the big thing that goes up like that. It's tall. It's slender. You guys know what it is. I just don't know what it is. It has the red lights in it. That's an obelisk. Our country is showing you this is who we worship. It is an Asherah pole. It's in the shape of a penis. It might not look like a penis, you guys. Washington, D.C. If it has a point, and you're going to say, no, it doesn't look like that, though. That's what it is. So Yahua is saying, chop down their Asherah poles, because the Lord is jealous and for his reputation. You are never to bow down to another god. He is a jealous God. Do not make a treaty with the inhabitants of the land, or else when they prostitute themselves with their gods and sacrifice to their gods, they will invite you, and you will eat their sacrifices. Then you will take some of their daughters as brides for your sons, and their daughters will prostitute themselves with their gods and cause your sons to prostitute themselves with their gods. We're going to veer off for just a second. King David, righteous, follow God's laws. He messed up, but he repented. His son, Solomon. Everybody knows Solomon. Wise man. He didn't ask for money. He asked for wisdom, but God gave him everything. He married pagan women. He had like 800 women or 1,000 or something crazy. And he followed all of their religions. And a lot of the stuff, and they say maybe he repented. They really don't know if he repented. So the Star of David is Solomon's seal. It's Baphomet. Baphomet is Satan. Baphomet is the star. It has a point at the top. It has 2 points to the side. It has 2 points to the bottom. That's the horns. That's the top of the head. That's the beard or whatever. Solomon's, the seal of David that people have in their churches, that Israel says is their symbol. They're telling you in front of you. Revelation says those people that call themselves the Jews are the synagogue of Satan. Nobody wants to talk about that, but I'm talking about it. I'm talking about it. So you're supposed to chop these things down. You're not supposed to marry them. You're not supposed to have any kind of affiliation with them. Verse 17, do not make cast images of gods for yourselves. Let me tell you what a cast image is. Wait. Let me go back to Yeah. Because that's the okay. So it says, King James, it says, don't make any graven image and don't bow down to it. Don't serve it. So in where am I at? Wait. It says verse 8, but I'm trying to, it was the first ones. So the 10 Commandments, verse 8 is, did you say it, Christian?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said something. You say yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I don't know where it's at, but it's verse 8. It's the 10 Commandments. Wherever the 10 Commandments is verse 8. Don't make any graven images. This is what a graven image is. An idol, carved image, a visual representation of something, a representation of the form of a person or object, such as a painting or a photograph. When I saw this, I was instantly convicted. I said, what? That's why it's called the Great Deception. The greatest deception. They don't want us to know his word. They don't want you to study. They want you to go to church and let somebody else tell you the word and don't go look it up for yourself. I always say this. If you go to church and your pastor's saying something, it should be a check. Oh yeah, I just read that. It should be a confirmation. It shouldn't be, oh, this is new revelation, because you should be studying your own word. So it also means to carve wood or stone, to cut, to shape. I sat at my desk. I have stones that have positive words in them. I have scriptures carved from stone. I have pictures in my office with Bible scriptures on it. I come in here, I got a clock, I got pictures, I have a whale, I have stuff. They say it's an object such as a painting or a photograph. Like, we have been deceived. We have been deceived, you guys. So likened, something. Okay, and also, so if you drive around anywhere, there's men on horses and statues. That's an idol, you guys. And they say this is who we revere. They do say that. This is who we revere because this person did something great.
Pay homage to.
That's not good. The person who just passed away, they want to make an idol of him and put him in colleges. That's a key right there. That should tell you. So liken means something portioned out as shape, image, likeness, form. Likened, semblance, represent. It also means to portion out, sort, or species from out of in many senses. To bow down means to depress, prostrate, fall down flat, which means you're worshiping this image. Nebuchadnezzar, it means to lay flat, lay down to an image. Nebuchadnezzar made his gold statue. He made everybody bow down. They found out the 3 Hebrew boys were now bound down. They would go worship and pray how they prayed. And he put them in the furnace because they didn't prostrate themselves or bow down to his like and image. Oh, yeah. So a long time ago at the church I used to go, we used to say Meshach. What is it? They always say a bad Negro. And now I understand why they said a bad Negro. I'm like, they were saying it without saying it.
I just always heard and the Billy Goat.
And the Billy Goat.
You never heard people say that? Meshach, and the Billy Goat.
Never heard that. Okay, to serve means, so this is what you're doing when you liken to these images. You work for them, you serve them, they enslave you, and you're in bondage to these idols. Okay, so let's go on to 6. Deuteronomy 6. Deuteronomy. And I'm kind of going to be cutting and pasting here. I probably will not finish this message because I think I'm already almost at an hour. I'm going to try really hard because this is part 1 and this is just, it's just so deep. It is so deep. Okay, Deuteronomy 6. Deuteronomy 6:14 says, do not follow other gods or other Elohims, the Elohims of the peoples around you. So we're in a place, we have other people worshiping other Elohims. Don't you worship those other Elohims. Don't worship horoscopes and crystals and the stars, and have an altar in the house that's dedicated to a dog or a cat. Stars. Yep.
I was thinking about worshiping a flag, and I'm like, stars.
So that's also an idol, our American flag, and people will cut you down because they're like, what? No. So I don't give my allegiance to the flag. I know I live in this country. My allegiance belongs to Yahua. I'm not worshiping a flag. That is not my idol. And I know they are persecuting people who will not bow down to an idol. You better stop bowing down to that idol. Don't do it. So he says, do not follow other Elohims and the Elohims of the people around you. We live in Babylon, you guys. Go to Deuteronomy 7. I'm going to be cutting and pasting here. 7, 1 through 5. Deuteronomy 7. When the Lord your God brings you into the land you are entering to possess, And he drives out many nations before you. Here we go with those ites. The Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. Some of these ites were giants. That's why they had to be driven out. Because they were Nephilims. 7 nations more numerous and powerful than you. Yahua is telling them they're numerous and they're powerful. And when the Lord your God delivers them over to you, he's already saying he's going to deliver them and defeat them. Don't go in there. There's another dog back there. You must completely destroy them. Make no treaty with them and show them no mercy. Okay, this is twice. He said this twice, you guys. 5. 1 verse 3. You must not intermarry with them, and you must not give your daughters to their sons or take their daughters for your sons. Why is he saying this more than once? Because these people are so hard-headed. They just, so if Yahuwah sees everything in their hearts, they must have been saying, ooh, but those girls sure are fine. They look good. And the women must have been saying, ooh, that's a fine-looking man. And Yahuwah is coming saying, don't marry with them. Listen to this. Make no treaty and show them no mercy because they're not humans. These are not humans. And once upon a time, I used to say, why is he killing all these people? Why is he killing the animals? I would say that because they weren't humans. They were mixed with other DNA. They were not humans. They weren't like us. They weren't like us. So then he says, then the Lord's anger will burn against you. Listen to this. And he will swiftly destroy you. Instead, this is what you are to do to them. Tear them down, tear their altars down, smash their sacred pillars, cut down their Asherah poles, and burn their carved images. Let's go to 25 and 26, same one. Let's go down a little bit. Burn up the carved images of their gods, their Elohims. Don't covet their silver or their gold on the images and take it for yourself, or else you will be ensnared for it is detestable to the Lord your God. Do not bring any detestable thing into your house, or you will be set apart for destruction like it. Rachel was set apart for destruction. We wonder why there's a lot of people dying young because they're worshiping idols. You are to abhor and detest it utterly. That's like, I can't even imagine the worst of the worst of the worst, like, that's what God is saying, utterly, because it is set apart for destruction. He's telling us it is going to be over there and it's going to be destroyed all by itself. Go to 8:20. 8:20 says, like the nations the Lord is about to destroy before you, you will perish if you do not obey the Lord your God. He's saying, even 19, it says, if you ever forget the Lord your God and follow other gods to serve them and bow and worship to them, I testify against you this day that you will perish. You're going to die. And it may not be like Rachel. She died at 45. You might burn in hell. Die. That's what that means. Burn forever. So that was 8. Okay, I read all of those. So we're getting close to the end. What will happen to those who worship idols? Let's go to Revelation. You know, I always say at the beginning of Revelation, it says the person who hears Revelation is blessed and the person who reads Revelation. I'm always going to find something in Revelation to read because I want to be blessed and I want you guys to be blessed as well. So Revelation 21:8. What will happen to those who worship idols? It's not going to be good, you guys. And don't think, Yahuwah says he won't be mocked. Don't think, oh, he don't know what I'm doing. I can do this in private. He hasn't shown his face. All of this is fables. None of this is true. I can get away with this. Nothing gonna happen to me. Just wait. I don't wish for this to come to you, but after the message 2 weeks ago, it's like Yahuwah says, those who are unrighteous, let them be unrighteous. He's okay. Those who worship other gods, let them worship other gods. Yahua says, let them go. And those who are righteous, let them remain righteous. So Yahua is saying, if they're destined for hell, let them go. That's a hard pill to swallow. Like, wait, what? But people don't read that. I read that and I was like, so why are we praying for people?
And what we think we want to do if God
Gives them up. Because
our thoughts are His. That's why.
because he knows that some of these people are not, their DNA is tainted. They have Nephilims. So I just told my husband yesterday, I said, what movie was I thinking of? Was it a movie? Oh shoot, what's the name of that movie? It's a television series, Once Upon a Time. I don't know if you've ever seen Once Upon a Time. So good. And it's all about the fairy tales that are true. And the main character, she couldn't see it because she didn't believe. And I told him, I remember we sat right outside and I said, what if that's us here? What if because we don't believe and we think it's a fable, that a lot of this stuff is not true? There were unicorns, you guys. There were giants, you guys. There are giants right now. There are mermaids right now. They're called sirens. They're demonics. And just a blurb, when the flood happened and the women who had sex with the giants, when the flood happened, all those women became sirens. That's where those sirens come from. They're the mermaids. And they're trying to kill as many people as they can. And they're not cute and pretty like they show you on a fairyland, but they're showing you right in front of you, they are demonic looking beings. And so what if all of that, I believe the word. I believe it wholeheartedly, 100%. I know it's true. So what if, okay, this is going to get real deep, you guys. So I was looking at something or hearing something, I can't remember what it was, and somebody was talking about witchcraft, and they said they had a cloaking spirit over them so they couldn't see. Well, oh, I know what it was. It was a lady. No, I'm gonna tell you. This lady was a Christian. She had a witch working for her business, and she fired the lady. No, she fired the lady because she found out, the girl said, yeah, I'm going to a festival. And the lady's like, oh yeah, what kind of festival? I'm going to a Wiccan festival. She said, Wiccan as in witch? She said, oh yeah, she fired her. So whatever business she had, nobody was coming to her business because this witch put a cloaking spirit. That's a veil where you can't see. Witchcraft is real, you guys. Witchcraft is real. That's why you got to pray and cast out every spirit of witchcraft. When she said this, something clicked in my head like a cloaking spirit, a spirit. So the witch will put a spirit on so nobody can see you or you can't see them. Shapeshifters, invisible people, stuff like that. Once the lady was fired, the lady's business flourished and it went up because that witch was gone. And I went, there's a cloaking spirit on this nation. That's why we don't see this stuff. That's why we're not seeing giants, unicorns, mermaids, and we're not seeing all of this stuff because our country is founded on witchcraft. They have a cloaking spirit over this nation. And I instantly prayed, remove the cloaking spirit. And even, I don't know who's going to come on later, but even some of you guys are dealing with witchcraft spirits. You think it's sickness. You think it's just a disease. You think it's just, it's just an accident. There are witches praying over you that's causing you not to see and know the truth and believe. And I bind every spirit of darkness from off of you right now in the name of Yahuwah Yahusha. I bind every cloaking spirit that's on, even bind the cloaking spirit that's on my children, the spirit of deception that's on this nation that does not want us to see the truth and know the truth. I bind every spirit of darkness, every witchcraft spirit, and I put you under your foot. I have the authority over you. You do not have the authority over me. And I bind you and I cast you back into hell where you belong right now in the name of Yahushua. I bind the cloaking spirits over our children right now. This demonic spirit that's convincing them that the way of wrong is right and the right way is wrong. I bind that spirit right now. In the name of Yahushua, I bind every demonic witchcraft spirit that's enticing them and that's making them think, come on with me. It looks good over here. You can do everything that you want. I bind it. Open their eyes right now so that they can see. Give them ears to hear and eyes to see right now, even in their ignorance. Let them see the truth. Let them experience the worst of the worst so they can understand who you are. You said, give them over to Satan, so perchance they will come back to you. I give them over to you right now in the name of Yahushua. Take off this cloaking spirit. Open up the eyes of Judah. Let Judah see. Let us come together as one right now, because the faster we come together, the faster you're going to come back. Right now in the name of Yahushua. Right now. Who's that? Oh, why are they barking? Whoo, I felt that. Lord. Okay, Revelation 21:8. We got to wrap this up, you guys. I get to going. This word is so good. I just want to keep doing. Don't you mess with that cat. Verse 8. But the cowards, the faithless, the detestable, the murderers, the sexually immoral, the sorcerers, the idolaters, and all liars, their share will be in the lake that burns with fire and sulfur, which is the second death. You weren't here. I'm going to send you the link, but we talked about sulfur. Have you ever been to Arkansas, to the hot springs, Arkansas? So underneath is where these angels are. And when you go to, the water comes out hot. It's healing. And that's in here. You wouldn't know that in here. It doesn't tell you that here. And I never thought about it. I'm like, that's interesting that they have, I went there. I'm like, it's interesting that they have hot water coming out of a rock. And they have people that fill up their jugs. It's healing. You drink it. It purges. I took a bath in the hot springs and I drank it. Let me tell you, when I got out, I was like that. I was like, what in the world? Me and my friend were together and we went back to our room. We couldn't eat. Of course, later we were hungry. We purged everything out of our bodies. And in the Apocrypha, it says that these angels and the water will be healing to the kings. It's healing. They don't want you to know that. I told Hannah, I said, we need to take a road trip. We need to go to Arkansas and go get us some water. Yeah, we're going to rent us a van. We're going to go take us a road trip. And we're going to look at this and say, whoa, that's that cloaking spirit. It's okay. He is okay. He is okay. They don't know that. So this is what's going to happen. He is the nicest dog. He's okay. This is what's going to happen when you worship an idol. You will burn with the fire and the sulfur. So not just the idolaters, but the liars, the sorcerers, the immoral, the sexually immoral, the murderers. Okay, let's go to 22:15. That's you a distraction. 22:15 says, outside are the dogs, the sorcerers, the sexually immoral, the murderers, the idolaters, and everyone who loves and practices falsehood. Why would he say that twice? You know why he says it twice? Because his confirmation is going to happen. He just said it in 21, and you would think, why in the world is he saying it again? Does he think I'm dumb and I'm not going to understand what he's saying? But he's telling you what he's going to do to these people. The world will tell you, love is love. God is love. God loves everybody. Yeah, he does. But he's giving you a chance to get it together. And if you don't get it together, there will be consequences. I don't understand why people think that our Abba Father is a father. We're his children. He's telling us there's going to be consequences, you guys. Don't be fooled. It's not too late. You can change now. Don't wait. I'm telling you, don't wait. I am just one Noah right before the flood. I am a watchman on the wall. The Holy Spirit, Yahuwah's Ruach, told me that years ago. I've had dreams, more than one, that I'm trying to wake up people and they're not waking up. I am a Noah telling you it's not too late. But once the flood comes, it's too late. I talked about that a couple of weeks ago or a few weeks ago, that they had 120 years to get it together. When it started raining, the rain was hitting them in their backs. We repent. We're sorry. It was too late. They all perished. And everybody's not going to come with us, you guys. We're going to Hebrews 3. Everybody's not going to come with us. These are my last two scriptures. Everybody's not coming with us. And that breaks my heart. That breaks my heart. Because he says everybody's not going to come with us. Some people's names are written in the Lamb's Book of Life. Some people's names are not written in the Lamb's Book of Life. Make sure your name is written in the Lamb's Book of Life. If we are still here, it is not too late. It's not too late. Hebrews 3:12 says, watch out, brothers and sisters, so that there won't be in any of you an evil, unbelieving heart that turns away from the living God. Hebrews 4:2-11. For we also have received the good news just as they did, but the message they heard did not benefit them, since they were not united with those who heard it in faith. It says it right here. They didn't want to hear the word because it didn't benefit them. Oh, I don't want to follow what Yahua says. That means I can't have sex with many people. I can't have orgies. I can't have menage a trois. I can't smoke marijuana, even though it doesn't necessarily say that, but you know. They don't want to follow the word or listen because it does not benefit them. Their lust, their flesh is louder than anything else. And they are not united with those who heard it in faith, which means they're not going to make it. They're not united. For we who have believed enter the rest. Now, at first, I thought this rest was dying. You die and you rest. Listen. For we who have believed enter the rest, in keeping with what Yahua has said. So I swore in my anger, they will not enter my rest. Guess what this is? This is all the way back where we started in Exodus, when they roamed for 40 years because they complained, they worshiped idols. He said, they're not going to enter my rest. The land, the promised land, was the rest. They were going to have everything. And I did not read this part. I might have to go back and read one more scripture, you guys. They didn't enter the rest. What is the rest? The Sabbath, the seventh day of rest. Even though his works have been finished, this is Yahuwah and Yahusha, Yahusha's one, since the foundation of the world, for somewhere he has spoken about the seventh day in this way. And on the seventh day, Yahuwah rested from all his works. Again, in that passage, he says, they will never enter my rest. There's a group of people that are not going to enter into the promised land. They're not going to make it. And it might be our family members. It might be our friends. It might be our children. It might be the people we're praying and we're crying and we're seeking and we're saying, but. And he might say, they're not going to make it. Therefore, since it remains for some to enter it, and those who formerly received the good news did not enter, listen to this. They received the good news, but they did not enter because of disobedience. Disobedience is going to destroy you. People say once saved, always saved. That's a lie from the enemy. That's a great deception. This is for those of you who don't believe in the Old Testament, this is the New Testament. That's why I'm going back and forth with the words, so you'll see. They will not enter because of disobedience. He again specifies a certain day. What's the day? Today. He specified this, speaking through David after such a long time. Today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts. What happened to Pharaoh when he hardened his heart? What happened to Pharaoh, Kai, when he hardened his heart? Pharaoh. How did he die? What happened to Pharaoh when he hardened his heart? I'll do that so see if they're paying attention. What happened to Pharaoh? Let my people go. What happened to Pharaoh?
He lost all his slaves and he died.
How did he die?
Oh, Passover, right?
Before the past, yes. But how did he die though?
Because he didn't put the
Nope. How did Pharaoh die? Don't tell him. I think you know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, tell me.
I thought it was because like during Passover you had to put the lamb blood on your door and he didn't.
So remember the Israelites fled with Moses and Aaron. They crossed the Red Sea. Pharaoh and all of his chariots came after and the waters covered them up. He did die, but he drowned.
I think I was thinking of the wrong person.
His heart was hardened because Yahua hardened his heart. Yahua did that. But wait. When you read this, he didn't die. I'm gonna mess you guys up, but we're not going there today. Let me stay focused. We're gonna go with the 66. He died, but he really didn't die. 4. If Joshua had given them rest, God or Elohim would not have spoken later about another day.
What number you on again?
11, 8, verse 8. We're still on 4, 8. Therefore, a Sabbath rest remains